deadlines, writing, meeting, and many more. Managing our time well is not just helpful, it's essential. So that's why we have today's session. It's learning practical ways to boost our productivity and make the most of our time. I'm honored to have two wonderful speakers with us today. Dr. Rashmi S. Chowdhury, Associate Professor and Research Supervisor at DBA UniAthena. And she has vast experience in teaching business management to students at different levels. And she's passionate about topics like advertisement, consumer behavior, and brand management. Joining her is Dr. Krishna Joshi, Associate Professor, Research Supervisor for DBA at UniAthena. She is a finance expert with over 15 years of teaching experience. She is known for making complex financial topics easy to understand and always bring real world examples to her sessions. So we are really looking forward to learning from both of them today. I'm sure the session will give us useful tools and ideas to help manage our research work better. So once again, I'll welcome Dr. Rashmi and Dr. Krishna to our session. Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Athira.
Thank you, Dr. Athira. So I am Dr. Rashmi. So as Dr. Athira just stated, that research is an intricate and complicated procedure. And there are different methods to make it productive. As a researcher, we all wish and we all want that our research should have a desired impact. It should be productive, right? But then what are the methods that we can adopt to again make it happen? So out of many these strategies, today we thought that we can include time management as a productive strategy to increase the impact of research. Now, can you imagine this, that a researcher sitting at their desk, surrounded by journal articles, open tabs, coffee has gone cold, and a looming deadline. And despite immersed in a world of ideas, they feel challenged, not by the lack of knowledge, but by the overwhelming task of managing it all. So today, I want to talk about something that's often overlooked in academic and scientific articles, yet profoundly shapes the quality and impact of our work, specifically research work. Yes, you've guessed it right. This is time management in research. Now, whether you are crafting a dissertation, designing a study, or publishing findings, managing your time well is not just helpful, but believe me, it is transformative. Talking about research, we can say that it is a journey that demands deep thinking, precision, and resilience. But without effective time strategies, this journey becomes chaotic, deadlines slip, motivation falters, and productivity suffers. So, in next few minutes, me, Dr. Rashmi, along with my colleague, Dr. Krishna Joshi, will walk you through how time management influences every stage of research, from idea generation to dissemination, that is, publishing or writing of thesis, and how small but intentional shifts in strategy can lead to meaningful, measurable improvements in productivity. Because in research, time isn't just a resource. We can say that it is our invisible partner in this journey of discovery. So I'll start with a brief introduction here. We can say that research is a systematic and creative process of generating knowledge, solving problems, and contributing to societal advancement. It demands intellectual depth, rigorous methodology, but research is often challenged by certain hindrances, we can say, that there are overwhelming academic responsibilities. We have to complete a number of tasks at one point of time. Then there are certain delays and obstacles which are unpredictable. There are certain stages in research, for example, data collection, right? So we do not know how much time will it take to generate responses from the respondents. So it can be sometimes time taken, and sometimes we do not know what lies ahead of us. Another problem with the research is that it is associated with information overload. We are living in an age of artificial intelligence and uninterrupted internet. We just have to Google a word, and there it comes a number of articles as we want. But out of this immense amount of articles or information, what is relevant to our work is that what takes decision. Another important challenge is the pressure to meet deadlines. Now, research is guided by timelines. There are assignments which have to be submitted time by time. There is a timeline which has to be followed. And if everything is not done according to the pre-decided schedule, it leads to problems. So we can say that in such a dynamic environment, managing time is not just a routine skill, but it is a strategic necessity. Time management, when we align it with the research goals, it has certain benefits. For example, it leads to focused inquiry, where distractions are minimized and intellectual depth is it thrives. Another is it ensures efficient task execution. That is, it allows us to navigate from data collection to analysis with clarity and precision. Further, it fuels timely project progression, where milestones are not met merely by chance, but by thoughtful strategy. And most importantly, it safeguards a sustainable work-life balance. Now, we are living in an age where we have to juggle between multiple tasks. There are working professionals who are already pressurized by commitments, by their commitments from work, commitments from family, commitments from friends, etc. So another commitment of research is a lot of stress enabler. But if we have some effective method which we can use to reduce or rather streamline our work, then we can help reducing the stress. So we can say that by adopting time management as a productive strategy, researchers can increase work effectiveness, quality, and impact of their work, transforming challenges into achievements. So some of the keywords that we will again discuss in this presentation or in this webinar will be effective research, goal prioritization, self-management, structured routine, scheduling, time management strategies, procrastination, digital tools for effective research, urgent versus important tasks. Now coming to importance of time management. Time management helps in enhancing the research productivity. How? It helps in meeting research milestones and deadlines. Now, there are certain tasks, as I said, data collection is there, analysis there, documentation is there. So all these activities, if they are timed, they obviously helps in increasing the effectiveness of our work. Another importance is that it facilitates consistent progress on long-term research goals. Right now, research is not a month's activity. It takes sometimes 2 years to 3 years to complete the research. So it is very important to be consistent in whatever we are doing. Another advantage or importance of time management for research is that it prevents last-minute rushes and incomplete outputs. Now, if we complete all the work, designated work in time, definitely we do not have to compromise with the quality. It helps in it helps in focused thinking. Now, working by time management, it helps allocating in uninterrupted time blocks for, again, there are certain tasks which require critical thinking and creativity. So the time management helps us to allocate our focused time to these activities. It helps in minimizing distractions and multitasking, leading to better quality of work. Another advantage is that it improves planning and organization. It allows for a realistic scheduling of activities across research lifecycle while prioritizing the tasks. It helps in reducing stress and burnout. It enables better documentation and review as it helps in allocating regular time for taking notes, making references, and updating our literature. It enhances clarity, consistency, and rigor for research documentation. Further, it facilitates collaboration and supervision as it ensures timely communication with guides, co-authors, and project teams. Further, it keeps research aligned with academic schedules and institutional requirements. And another main advantage of an effective research when implemented through time management is that it is accompanied by practical recommendation. Now, whenever we are doing research, it is important that it should be credible. That means it should have an impact, which means that it should have recommendation which should be practically applicable to their respective organizations, communities, and societies. Now, coming to the challenges of time management in research, so we can also refer to these challenges as time traps. Now, we will be discussing these different challenges of time management with respect to different stages of time management. Coming to the first stage of research is selection of topic and development of proposal draft. Now, this is the stage where our ideas start getting into paper. We start writing, we start giving a practical word or phrase to what we are thinking of researching about. So the main challenge in this stage is ambiguity and overscoping. Because when we are thinking about a topic or thinking about a particular draft, there are multiple ideas that we come across. So how to just finalize on one idea, how to finalize on one topic is a challenge here. And because of this challenge of this particular stage, there are certain things which leads to wastage of times and becomes challenging for managing the time. That is, we end up doing endless brainstorming sessions. That is, we keep on thinking that this is good. Whenever we think of a new topic, we always like that one. So we forget about the older one and start thinking about the new one. Then another major problem is perfectionism, because as a researcher, we all want to be best, right? So we do not want to compromise on what our topic should be or what our research framework should be. So in this attempt, we are not able to finalize anything. Another common practice is procrastination. Procrastination is when we delay our work, right? So sometimes we think that we have ample time. Research is a 3 years long process. So why today? We can do it tomorrow. We can do it next week or even next month. So this takes a lot of time. And sometimes delaying our work to tomorrow again help us, or rather again poses a challenge as it makes us miss our important deadlines. So what is the impact of this challenge? It leads to delayed project start and unfocused direction. Then the second stage in the literature review is literature review in the research process. The main challenge here is information overload. Now, literature review, as we all know, means that whatever our topic is, we have to research about the existing work on that topic through various research articles, journals, theses, etc. So that means we have to again take a lot of information. So for that, internet is always helpful. But how to synthesize that information becomes a challenge. Assimilating that information becomes a challenge. So again, the time management challenge here is that it leads to citation rabbit holes. Citation rabbit holes means that whenever we are reading a paper, we just go into references one to another, one to second, second to third, and so on. Again, referring and reading so many papers, but we are not able to synthesize that how or what is relevant in all those papers, which can be utilized for our own specific research. So impact here is on our research that it leads to slow progress and difficulty framing the research gaps. Now, the third stage in the research process is research design and planning. Now, this is an important stage as our ideas here meet the design. This is the stage where we have to formulate a blueprint for our entire research. So here, the challenge is to align our methodology with the research objectives and purpose. Now, again, what kind of methodology are we adopting? Should it be qualitative, quantitative? Does it align with our research objectives? All these are challenging questions and they require a lot of effort. So here again, the time management problem here is that we lead to repetitive designs. We are not satisfied with one methodology we have adopted, so we keep on redoing it, right? So this leads to, and sometimes delayed approvals also lead to wasting of time. So how does it impact our work? So it leads to bottleneck before our actual data collection or our actual work begins. Coming to the next stage, which is data collection. Now, we all know that for completing our research, for doing analysis, we need information. Now, primary information has to be collected from target sample. That is, they are the individuals to whom we circulate our questionnaires and they answer it, give us the responses, and we analyze that information. So here the challenge is that sometimes there are unpredictable delays. Now, this is something we cannot control. Sometimes respondents do not understand what we want them to answer. Sometimes they are not able to relate with our research problem. So all this leads to difficulty in generating response from the respondents. So what is the time trap here? We lose a lot of time waiting for responses. And sometimes there is a time wasted in rescheduling sessions, specifically for scheduling the required interview sessions. So the impact is it leads to slippage of timeline, we slip our deadlines, and it leads to a strain on resources as well, because resource is a major limitation when it comes to research. So again, redoing our questionnaires or our interview schedules again leads to strain on the resources. Then another stage in the research process is data analysis. Now, this is a complicated process, analyzing data, as it involves certain statistical software and it requires a use of some amount of technical knowledge. So all this makes it very technical and complex for the researchers, not because they do not know what they want to do, but sometimes because we are not aware about the software, we are not about how to use of this particular software. So again, it becomes challenging. So what are the challenges with respect to usage of time? We again end up revising data analysis models and we keep waiting for that perfect strategy, right? We again use a particular statistical tool. We are not satisfied. We do not get the exact result or expected results. And then we reattempt it. And in this, we end up losing a lot of time. And how does it impact our effectiveness for work? It leads to analysis paralysis. Again, and sometimes we analyze it so much that we deviate from our main objective of the research. And sometimes we miss on the important aspects and that leads to missing of important or the required insights. Next stage in the research process is writing and documentation. Now, this is a very important stage. The thesis is the culmination of the entire work of a researcher. If we are writing a research paper or a thesis or a research report, this requires some amount of creativity, information, language, and so many other things. We have to have a chain of thought which has to be completely and properly or appropriately worded for an effective research report. So here the main challenges are the writer's block. That is, we all have certain perceptions about ourselves when it comes to writing or expressing ourselves. So if that expectation is not met, we are not satisfied. So we are not able to finalize whatever we are writing. And another problem is perfectionism, because we are never satisfied. We think we can add, we can change something here. We can add one more objective. We can make a new interpretation, right? So all this again, this attempt to be perfect, again, it leads to wastage of time because we rewrite and revise drafts, again, leading to neglecting of deadlines. And how does it impact our work? It leads to delayed dissemination and reduced impact. So, of course, if we are writing for publishing research papers, or if we have been given a deadline for an assignment and we are not able to write, then it can impact our work. Another stage last stage rather for the research process is revision, defense, and publication. Now, feedback is very important for our research work. There is a collaboration between the supervisor, peers, and the researcher. So again, but sometimes the too much or the overload of feedback, right? If specifically if it is not related to our work, can lead to last minute changes. For example, even if we have to rephrase certain paragraphs of a chapter, sometimes it takes to rewriting the entire chapter, right? So how does it affect our time? We have to rework the entire sections without prioritization, right? So this leads to wastage of time. And how does it impact our work? It leads to unnecessary burnout and compromised clarity. So we can say that the challenges for time management, specifically to research, can be broadly categorized into these three categories. That is procrastination, paralyzing perfectionism, and setting incorrect objectives. Procrastination, as I said, sometimes we keep delaying our work, saying that we can yet do it tomorrow. If we have to submit it next month, let me sit by next work and start working on that. Right? So again, it is a challenge and we do not even realize when that next month comes. Another is paralyzing perfections because we think that we are the best and we want to be the best. But sometimes in an attempt to do so, we end up wasting a lot of time, right? So there are certain assignments, there are certain drafts which needs to be completed before they can be perfected. And another important challenge is setting incorrect objectives. That is related to when we do not have clarity in mind as to what we want to do. What is the direction of research? What can be the challenges? What can be the hindrances that we can come across while doing this research? So all these problems are the major challenges in research with respect to time management. Now we have discussed about the problem. Now we come to the solution. So now we will be talking about the strategies to overcome time management challenges. So the first thing is we have to recognize that there is something wrong. We have to identify that. What is the problem, right? What is our challenge? Are we delaying our work? So is our time going? Are we not able to finalize the first draft? Are we not able to understand anything? Are we lacking in the required skills? So identifying the problem area is the second step. And then comes the strategies that what we can do, what practical strategies we can employ to overcome these challenges. So these are some of the general time management strategies which can be adopted to reduce the challenges. First is we can break tasks into micro tasks. That is, we can, again, we cannot think of the entire thesis at one time. Or if we are doing literature review, we cannot look at all the papers at one time. We can just take one variable and research for the papers, say the most recent papers related to that variable. And that helps us that gives us some understanding of that particular variable, and that we can shift to the other topics. Second is we can set daily research goals. Now here the focus should be on progress, not perfection. That means, as I said, research is a long journey. So it is very important to be consistent. Consistency is the key here. Then another important aspect is that we have to schedule fixed start times. We all lay emphasis on deadlines, but start times are equally important. So we have to set slots, put up alarms, set up remindings, and we have to do it regularly until it becomes our habit. Another important aspect is accountability partner. So it is very important that we share our goals with a peer or mentor on a weekly basis to stay on track. So if we are communicating about our work to our confident person, so we will be guided from time to time as in where we are lacking and how we can overcome the challenges for our work. For perfectionism, we can adopt these general strategies, which include set realistic benchmarks. Now, again, we have to define that what is a complete draft. That is, we have to make fine the perfect. We have to read 10 papers in a day. Perfect means that we have to have research design, which is related to the latest technology and so on. Then we have to time box. That is, we have to allocate fixed time for editing. That means we have to give, for example, we can give 45 minutes per section because it is observed that most of the time is wasted or rather spent while editing our work. So if we give fixed time to do that, so it will not take endless time. Now, draft first and refine later. So as they say that ugly first drafts are better than the never achieved perfect drafts. So we should emphasize that we should be able to finalize our first drafts, no matter if it is imperfect, no matter if it does not contain the kind of perfection that we are requiring, the expected words, jargon that we are expecting out of our work, but we have to put a start somewhere, at least, because how it helps, it gives us a broad framework within which we have to work, and it also gives us the direction in which we can steer forward to complete our work. And again, we have to remind ourselves that done is better than perfect. Now, for incorrect objectives, certain strategies that we can adopt are, we have to use SMART criteria. Now, SMART criteria is with respect to setting of goals. So we have to ensure that our goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Again, we can adopt reverse planning. That is, we can think about what is the desired outcome and then working backward from there, right? For example, if we think that we have to write, say this is our practical recommendation is applicable to this organization, then we can start working on finding out that what are the problems faced by that particular organizations. Then there is weekly goal audits. Now we have to review our objectives for relevance and monitor it regularly. If not daily, then at least on weekly basis. And another important method is that we can formulate a priority matrix. This is also known as Eisenhower box, which was given by Stephen Covey. So it categorizes tasks by urgency and importance. We will detail it in later. The another is we can avoid task drift, right? So always ask, does this bring me closer to my research goal? So it is important that whatever we are doing, if we are reading, say, 10 research papers, but if they are not relevant to our work, no matter you are spending your entire week on that, it will not contribute to your work. So you have to always ask that, how is this, whatever you are putting in terms of effort, how is it taking you closer to your research goal? So this is what we mean by SMART goals. They have to be specific. That means we should be able to measure them in specific criteria. They should be measurable. That is, we have to decide what is, as I said, if we want to have a perfect draft, we should be able to list the characteristics of that perfect draft. And achievable means that should be in our capacity. Now, if we are doing data analysis, you think that you want to use the latest software, but if you have no knowledge of it, then this will be of no use. So it is good to be related to basics if you are clearly knowledgeable about it. Then another important aspect is realistic. That is, our goals should be realistic. That is, we should be doing what is relevant to our broad objective. Another is it should be time-based. That is, we should set deadlines for our work and should be able to complete it within the stipulated time period. Now, this is the Eisenhower Matrix, which helps us differentiate between what is urgent and what is important. Now, in our day-to-day basis, in our work, we are often challenged. We have to choose between urgent and important matters. Something that might seem urgent must not be important. For example, while doing your work, you get a notification of an email. Now, this is urgent because you hear that sound, but it might not be important. So it is best to ignore it. So this matrix categorize our tasks in a day into 4 quadrants, which can be categorized as urgent, not urgent, which we can requires delegation and which needs to be eliminated altogether. And they are based on two criteria, which is do them without any delay. So examples specifically for research include that we have to adhere by our deadlines for submission of our research assignments or any work. Then fix major data errors, finalize research proposal, respond to the comments of reviewers. So these are the things which are both important as well as urgent. Now, there are certain tasks which are important, but they are not urgent. So the second quadrant can be used for planning. For example, literature review. Now, literature review might not be urgent because it is an ongoing task. Literature review starts from as you begin your journey of research, and it again goes on till you submit your thesis. So we can say that it is important, but it cannot be urgent. So whenever you get time, you should be able to doing review of the relevant literature. Another is paper writing, thesis writing. So this also you cannot complete at one go. So take one portion of it and do it as and when you find time. Then designing methodology. So designing methodology is the most important task of the research process. And it cannot be done in a hush or in a hurry. So whenever you have time, right, whenever you are in the first stage of your research, take out time and start reading about the methodologies and find out that which methodology suits best to your research. And another important aspect which requires planning is development of required skill. That is, what skills are required for us to increase the effectiveness of our research work. There are software for qualitative analysis, for literature review, so we can spend time learning those software. Then the third quadrant which is again not important but urgent. For example, administrative calls, emails, building up references, scheduling travel, right? So they can be again taken up as they come. Then the fourth quadrant which has to be eliminated. For example, they include activities which are neither important nor urgent. For example, social media scrolling, watching irrelevant videos, attending unproductive events, and rechecking inbox repeatedly. So they are just a few examples, right? So this was about about what are the challenges of time management with respect to research and what are general strategies that we can adopt as researchers to overcome these challenges. Now I welcome my colleague, Dr. Krishna. She will take it up from here and she will discuss about the time management strategies and the digital tools which are most relevant for researchers.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rashmi, for inviting me here after you. Okay. So first of all, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to every participants who are here in this webinar, whatever the block of the, whatever the phase of the globe you are in, as per that, welcome to you on this webinar. Now, Dr. Rashmi has very elaborately mentioned that what are the problems or what are the challenges a researcher faces while they are doing their research. Okay, and as shown in this quadrant, that is Eisenhower Matrix, whereas it is mentioned that neither urgent not important task in the fourth quadrant, and this is the most distractive things in our life, right? So we are generally distracted. So we sometimes have a 2 hours of work, 2 hours of time to complete our work, but a simple notification on our phone and we are just scrolling our social media for next 2 hours. So in this digital era where distractions are unlimited, how can we manage our time? Not only distractions, we are professionals, we are busy in personal life, professional life, and then coming to your research for the studies. So how can we manage these challenges? And hence we thought of discussing this topic with all the researcher today, that how can we come up with the challenges of time management into a research. So how beautifully or how impactfully we can manage our time. So while Dr. Rashmi was explaining us about the challenges and her part of presentation, I was, reading the chats which were coming from our participants. So I would like to tell you two things. First thing, your questions would be answered at the end of the webinar. Our host will answer your questions. And someone was eager to know what is Pomodoro techniques and time blocking techniques. So please wait, we are coming on to that point only. Meanwhile, please keep pouring your challenges. As a researcher, what challenges do you face? Please keep pouring it into the chat box. So Dr. Rashmi has already discussed few of the challenges as a researcher you might be facing. But if you are facing some specific challenges, please pour it into our chat box. So we are surely going to read it and discuss it at the end of the presentations. Now, Dr. Rashmi, if we can have a next slide, please. So,
Okay. Can you see the slides?
no, can you just scroll the next slide, please? So here in the next slide, once she is changing it, we are going to discuss about the time blocking and general techniques for time management. Yes, Dr. Rashmi, we can see it now. So here, the first technique which I'm going to discuss about is time blocking or deep work framework, which is very popularly known as Carl Newport's deep work philosophy. Now, what it is? It is this technique is one of my favorite. You are using time blocking. It is inspired by Carl Network's Newport's deep work framework. The idea is very simple here, but powerful idea. You block dedicated time slot in your calendar for specific types of work. So, for example, morning could be dedicated for deep work like writing or reading complex papers, which you generally cannot read into at the end of the day. Few people are night people, few people are morning people. So whatever is your body rhythm is, whatever your biological clock is, like if you like to do deep reading in the morning, some people like it in the night. So whatever is your, comfort zone, please keep that slot for your deep work, right? So morning could be for deep work like writing or reading a complex paper. Afternoon generally can be kept for shallow work like checking your email, formatting citations, where you do not require 100% of attention. Evening could be reserved for family time, exercise or relaxation, or just sitting and keep thinking that what can be done next into your research. So this is how you can block your time. The magic happens when you treat these blocks like an appointment. So you just do not cancel them casually. You have to show up. No multitasking. When the time is blocked, you have to go there. You can make it even more effective by color coding your calendar, or you may, and also do not forget to include some buffer time for unexpected interruptions, because we might have some guest over or might be some interruption which is unexpected. So please keep some buffer time for that as well. So do not keep your 24 hours very tight. Please keep some buffer time as well. So this is a time blocking strategy. This structure allows you to work with focus, reduce fatigue, and feel in control. And you can most probably complete your important task. Next strategy is Pomodoro technique and Parkinson's law. If I can have a next slide, please, Doctor. So next technique we are going to discuss about is the Pomodoro technique. Now, what is Pomodoro technique? Let us take about two smart techniques now. It is a smart hack, Pomodoro techniques, and Parkinson's law. After this Pomodoro technique we discuss. So the first Pomodoro techniques is, this techniques talk about you work for 25 minutes, then take a 5 minutes break. After you take 4 Pomodoro of such, take a large break. Now, why this technique we use is, it is great for avoiding any burnout, which you might come, by continuously researching or continuously reading the things. Especially when you are it comes especially when you are overwhelmed or multitasking at a home. It helps you to stay fresh and focused. So after every 25 minutes, you may take a 5 minutes break. So you can use this Pomodoro technique for using the long papers or writing sections. And at the end of 4 such Pomodoro, you can take a longer break. We will suggest some tool where you can think of Focus Keeper or Forest or pomofocus.in .io. This will help you to keep focused on your work. So you do not have any other distractions. You are just 25 minutes allotted. You have an appointment with your work and do it like that only. Next, please. Next is Parkinson's law. Now, what this law talks about, it talks about work expands to fill the time available. So for example, if you give yourself a week to write an abstract, you will take a week to write an abstract. Rather than that, if you say, I will complete this writing in a day, your mind is more focused and it start working in that direction, that how I can complete this task in a day. So Parkinson's law says you that work expands to fill the time available to always, but that doesn't mean that you keep a very short period of time to complete a very lengthy task. Again, that might overwhelm you and you feel like, why I am not able to do the work which I have decided to complete in an hour. So please be mindful here. Set your, as Dr. Rashmi rightly mentioned earlier in her presentation, that keep a smart goals, smart objectives, and work according to it. Here is the trick. You can combine both the Pomodoro and the timer and set artificial deadlines for yourself, and you will be amazed at how much you can get done in short burst or short period of time. Next is MIT method, which is known as most important task. It is really simple method, but it is underrated technique, and it is known as MIT method. Every morning, just ask yourself, if I finish only one task today or one thing today, what should it be? Now, whatever answer comes to your mind, take up this task. That one task could be writing 300 words of your research. It can be finalizing table of content or running your data analysis. Whatever it is, do it first. It is your most important task. It is just like an Heisenhower square, the quadrant, which one Dr. Rashmi has just mentioned. This builds a sense of progress and success, and even on busy or chaotic day, you will know you have moved forward, at least whatever you have set the target, you have moved forward with that. So research is not about doing everything in a day or a two. It is about doing the right thing each day, and at the end of the period of time, you should be able to complete your research. So be mindful of this technique, use these techniques, and give yourself some refreshment time as well, and discuss and manage a time like this. All of us are having 24 hours in a day. These techniques can help you to save your time from other distractions and you can focus on your work. Now, can we have a next slide, please? With this, let us talk about some digital tools for time management, digital tools that can make you productive in your research work. So here I will be talking about few of the tools which is freely available in the market, in the digital era. You can have various tools, download them and use it for your productivity, increasing your productivity and managing your time. So here in these slides, I will be talking about few of the tools which can help you in managing literature review and reference management. This is known as literature review and reference management tools. They are Zotero, it is free and open source, Mendeley, and Connected Papers freemium. So these are the few tools you can use to manage your literature review and reference management. Let us talk about Zotero and Mendeley. These are the reference managers. You can use them to collect and organize research paper. They can automatically create a citation for you inside in taxation citation for you, and it can help you to share the references with your collaborators. Zotero is simple and great for solo work, but if you want to work in a group and you want to share the research paper with your other research member, Mendeley works well if you are, working in a group. while you are reading a paper on Google Scholar or something like that, you just click on the Zotero icon, which you have, downloaded from the internet and you had logged it to in. And the paper which you are reading through Google Scholar will automatically directly save to your metadata. So this is how you can work with the Zotero. It has a browser plugin. It can save paper, and with one click, you can create a folder to themes or chapters, and then you can later on use it. And both of this tool can help you in managing the references as well, and it will create a citation for you as well. Now, meanwhile, I'm talking about the next tools, which is for note taking and knowledge management. Please write it down into chat box if you have ever used Zotero or Mendeley for your research work and how it was useful to you. Can we have a next slide, please, Doctor? Okay, so these are the tool for note taking and knowledge management. You can use Notion, you can use Obsidian and Evernote. Now, Obsidian is the Notion is known as second brain. So how this is very nice tool, Notion and Obsidian. These two tools are my personal favorite. How they can work? Let me just give you an example. So Notion, you have downloaded the Notion and you are using it as all-in-one research dashboard. It creates second brain with linked notes, tables for papers tracking, title, summary, citation notes, keynotes, keywords, embedded Google Docs, PDFs, Pomodoro timers, or even Zotero links can be used. Now, what you can do is once you download this Notion, and you can have your own folder known as Thesis Planner. Now into this tool, you have three types of notes. The one is your random thoughts. So you can just write it down while you are even working and some thoughts are coming. Maybe you are doing your laundry, or maybe you are on the way to your office and you have some thoughts into your mind. Now what would you do? Just put it down, those thoughts, into the first notes, that this is what the thoughts I have came up. Now, while running that research, it will help you to get few of the research paper and reference papers from the internet. It will come to you, and then you can link your thoughts with this research paper, and then you can even, it can also help you to write down very detailed notes. So what you want to say, what the references is saying, and the third part of the Notion, it creates the wonderful notes for you to read, that you are thinking this and this reference paper is supporting whatever you are thinking. So Notion and Obsidians are really very great tool, and Notion to generally is known as second brain. So yeah, so please go through Notion and Obsidian once, try it, and you can use it. At UniAthena, we generally ask our researcher, we ask our researcher to use such tools. In the AI world, it is not, we have every possible tools with us, so use it wisely and please take advantage of it. It is free. The other is Evernote and Microsoft OneNote. I suppose all of us know the OneNote by Microsoft. It is used for cloud-based note taking. So you can tag notes by topic, author, or section. You can have a clipper, web clipper. You can just clip your research paper which you have, or the link you are going through. You can just clip it aside, and whenever you are multitasking at home or work, you can just clip it, and later on you can refer it. Microsoft also provides you with the voice notes. So it is very important, very useful while you are walking or we are doing your course. You just can take a voice notes and keep it for the later on. So later on you can use it. Obsidian is a great for qualitative research. It's markdown based application where your notes are linked together like a web. and it is very much perfect for building your theory framework. So if you are into a qualitative research, please use Obsidian. Can we have a next slide, please? Next slide is about data analysis and writing tools. So here we can talk about NVivo, RPython, Google Sheet, Excel with analysis toolkit. Now, Excel is something we all know. Excel analysis with toolpack also we know. Again, I would like to, bring to your attention here that at UniAthena, we generally our first module itself contains the Excel with analysis toolpack. The other tool is NVivo and Atlas TI. Some of them are paid, but if you are a student or learner, you can get discounts. NVivo is best for qualitative research. So if you are doing qualitative research, you have your interview, then you can simply upload your interview. So NVivo will help you to qualitative data coding. It will help you to identify themes. And so thematic analysis, content analysis, it will help you to identify the theme. It will prepare a transcript. It will give you articles code, categorize and visualize themes generated automatically, or generates automatic word clouds, and frequency analysis also can be done through NVivo. So once your literature review is done and you are on the field work and you are collecting your data, please use this tool NVivo. We generally use this NVivo. So very, very useful tool. And there are various workshops are being conducted throughout the world for NVivo into your qualitative research analysis. So, and many of them are free, a few of them are paid, a few of them are free. You can connect, you can attend any of this research workshops, and you can learn these tools, how to use it. Same for R or Python. It is generally used for quantitative data analysis, machine learning, or a statistical open source coding platform. These are the open source coding platforms. It's integrated with SPSS kind of statistical packages, strong visualization, and reproducibility features has been given by them. Analyze survey data using R plus RStudio, then visualize graph for thesis. Now, let me just tell you one thing here, that NVivo and R and Python, all of these are little difficult tools, and we recommend to go through a workshop or a YouTube tutorial kind of a things to NVivo and R Python. Google Sheets and Excel sheet we all know. For writing, can we have a next slide, please, Doctor? For writing the data, and we can use, okay, Grammarly, Quiltboard, and Google Docs and MS Word are used as a writing tool. Now, what is the writing? This can help you to check the grammar, paraphrasing, and readability improvement. One of the very nice tool I have come across is Hemingway Editor. Now, what is this Hemingway Editor? If you download Hemingway Editor into your Word and you just open your MS Word document or whatever your document is, it highlights it highlights those area of your writing which is very strategic. So if you have long sentences, it highlights it, and it's asks you to simplify it. So Grammarly and Quillboard is used for grammar checking, paraphrasing, readability improvement. It can help you to fix the sentences and citation tones and etc. Google Docs and MS Word, we all know it is it comes with citation plugins, and you can use collaborative writing with Zotero and Mendeley citation plugins. That they have these plugins. You can use it with Google Docs and your MS Word. So Google Doc is generally for collaborative work. So you prepare your work into Google Doc, and then your supervisor may give you some of the comments on the same documents. So with this, we reach to the conclusion. So during this presentation, before I conclude the presentation, just let me tell you that this presentation or this webinar was just to introduce you to various tools available and various techniques available for time management and the productivity. In the upcoming series or in the next webinars, we can think of explaining these tools in a practical way or with the demonstration. So please look into, please keep following us. We will have some of the announcements very soon. So at the end, I would like to conclude that here, what we have learned? Here is what we have learned. Time is your most valuable asset as a researcher. Effective time management isn't just about planning, it is about strategy for success. Use techniques like Eisenhower Matrix, Pomodoro, time blocking, and MIT most important task. Do leverage digital tools to work smarter, not the harder. And most importantly, remember that progress, not perfection, is the goal here. So with this, I will end my session here. Thank you very much for your participation. Please be with us like this. Thank you. Over to you, Dr. Athira.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Rashmi, Dr. Krishna, for this insightful and practical session. I'm sure that the audience have picked valuable tips to improve their productivity as researcher. So actually, we have a lot of questions coming in the chat boxes in the Q&A as well, and I